All right, back in the shop here. So let's talk about a few things, what's going on. It's been a busy last few weeks or so. First thing, let's talk about I picked up an old saw the other day, and this is old. And hold on, let me give me something to hold. Hold on, guys. Always something here. Let me grab my stand so if I could talk and hold this. Um, all right, so let's let me turn this around. How come I can't turn it? There we go. All right. First thing I want to talk about this old saw. So this is a Spear and Jackson, and it came S&J, came from England, and I know it's old because it's here in Nevada, right? And it's got to be old. I don't know where else it could have came from, but it's here. So whoever had this, and now this is beech. And how do I know it's beech? I sanded it down right over here, and you can tell it's beech. Not only can you tell it's beech, but this thing was sitting in some water, and some some crazy animals got in there and ate up the whole handle. So I'm making a copy on this piece of beech right here. It's already copied, and I'll cut that out here in a week, next couple days. Okay? So I got that to talk about. Now, the blade is a whole nother story, which will be another video. And this is going to be put into, it's actually a nice old blade, I think. Oh my gosh, now it's got beat up pretty bad. Pretty bad, but anyway, I'm going to put this in my solution, and I'm gonna tinker with. I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna grind this. I'm gonna anneal it or heat it up, both sides, and I'm gonna try welding this, spot welding it, and then of course finish welding it and see if I can weld this broken. I mean, it's cracked, okay? And this is spring steel, so you can see the crack here. It's going to be a fun thing to do. I'm going to try to see if I can actually fix that enough where I could put it back in the handle. And so, and it has a nice nib on the end right here that came with the saw. But you know what? It's actually pretty much still usable. Rusted beyond belief, but I may be able to pull that rust off. We'll see. It's worth a shot, and to see if I can see any markings on the blade. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do next week. Extremely old nuts because the nut's what they call split nut. You can see that little cut on here, and I made a tool. It was an old chisel for a bit brace, and I ground the center out where it'll fit right in here like so, and it's usable. So I got all the nuts out. Now that was not a easy thing to do because it's been inside the saw for a while and bent the nuts a little bit. The handle has. You have to be really careful on straightening these things out. You have to give them a little bit of heat, and then you can put them in a vise and give them a little pressure on there to straighten them out a bit. And that's the deal on those. Now, what else am I working on? Well, here's another saw that I'm also going to put this blade, and this is the 5.5. It says 5.5 teeth in an inch. This handle was in very, very good shape, and I've been practicing doing some carving, and this is a sample of that just to practice on the beach. But I got some carving tools coming, some smaller ones, and I want to go ahead and replicate this on a new handle that I'm going to make later. Now, there's nothing wrong with this handle. I sanded it, cleaned it, and I just put on Watco natural oil. So this one here has the nuts, and this is a disston, and I'm going to put those back later, and I get all the nuts for those, and that'll go back to that saw. Then this one here was one that I found that was completely bad. Not only was it cracked and broken, okay, broken here and separated, it had cracks all along here, and it actually had a crack down the center, okay, and there's some shellac still on here, but I'm not going to touch that because I did Watco on here as well. And what I've done is I took a mixture of Elmer's glue, Elmer's glue, of course, waterproof, and I pressed that in, and I took sawdust and I pressed that back in, and I clamped it and let it dry overnight. And I oiled it, and it was pretty bad, guys. It really was. There was cracks all over this place. And like I said, the whole back was opened up, and I filled that with wood. You could use, of course, wood filler, but I'd rather not. I'd just rather take regular wood and stuff it in the cracks. And the sawyer actually put his initials, JC. Okay, maybe this came from Jesus Christ, right? I don't know. I doubt it highly. But anyways, it's a nice handle, and that's going to go back on a blade. At this time, I don't know what blade is. I got a lot of blades over there. I got a lot of bad handles, and I see one right now that maybe this one will replace. Let's go take a look at that. Let me bring that over. I see one. I just picked this up the other day. This actually may be a good candidate for that. As you can see here, this handle is cracked, okay, and that's a disston as well, and 1920s maybe. Oh gosh, the blade is so bad. Look, it's missing teeth. So I don't know, but I might keep it just for, oh my God, there's all kinds of missing teeth. But I still have the nuts, which the reason why I bought this is because I have these nuts. I'm saving the nuts because I can use them for another project. Well, I mean, I could put this back on here. It's an identical handle, if you will, but I believe I still have the original blade for this somewhere over there in my pile of 80 saws, right? So that's where this one's going. It's a nice left-handed. You put your thumb in here. You can put your finger in here. You can put your thumb in here and cut like so, right? A nice handle. And then I have another handle that was broken with the top piece here, and I'm going to replicate that once again at a beach. Now, I've done this in the past where I cut this piece off and actually add another piece, which I just may do that because this is a very nice handle. Look at that. Even this one was made a little bit off when it was made. You can see the cut is a little bit off with a trained eye. Not much, but just a little bit to the right. Okay, could have been a little bit more to the left. But that's okay. So this is, yeah, I'll show you how I do this, guys. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut this off and put another piece of beech. You know, I got lots of pieces, and you know, there's something like that. I can glue it on here like so. I mean, you know, cut it to fit on top of here, and then I can just cut the rest of this out. So I'll probably end up doing that to that piece. So let's see, what am I doing? This does not go to that. Oh, this one is for, yeah, sorry. This one goes here. So, and that's yet to be put together. So, like I said, I have 3 gouges coming for carving. So I can do this wheat pattern. And what I'll do with that is I'll trace the pattern, which I did already, but I'm going to get some tracing paper because this didn't work too good. You can see the wheat pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'll cut it out with an X-Acto knife, but I will get a tracing paper. I'll cut it out. That way I can mark it on the handle, and then I can go ahead and try my, you know, training. But I had this carving tool. It's a little bit too wide here. It doesn't go. It goes deep enough, but it's too wide. So I ordered 3 more new ones. This is an antique. This is kind of old. This is made by I think it's B-O-T, Bocher. I need my loop to see that. It's a nice old piece, that's for sure, antique. Used quite often, as you can tell. And still usable 100 years later. All right, guys, so it's Sunday. Super Bowl is here. I'm going to be going to Super Bowl, and I will sign out for now. I'll come back and show you what I did with these handles. And I'll also do the welding. I'll do a video of the welding of that tempered steel. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up. And any comments, please let me know. Thank you.